Welcome back to the Hurry Up Offense. Fantasy football news and advice in under 10 minutes for week 2 of the NFL season. I am Smokey Rameriz, your fantasy football pro. Let's go. Today's topic is don't overreact to week 1. Guys, we just got out of week 1 and it is happening left and right. Look through your waiver wires. People are overreacting to week 1. I've seen it. I saw a person spend 60% of their year-long fab budget because of week 1. I have seen people drop Aaron Rodgers. I have seen people drop Ezekiel Elliott. Guys, don't do it. But first, let's get into the news. Jerry Jeudy has been sent to the IR. Guys, you hate to see it. One of my biggest breakout candidates for this season has been injured in week 1 and he will be sent to the IR. Expect him to be back hopefully around week 6, week 7, maybe week 8 if all goes well. But hopefully he will get back and return to dominance, which I projected him to be. Guys, there is no silver lining to this, but if you did what I told you and put Noah Fant in your lineups and you reaped the benefits last week, you will be able to continue to reap the benefits from here forward because a lot of those Jeudy targets are going over to Fant. The Niners are signing up every free agent they can find right now after Raheem Mostert goes down for the entire season. Now, it is noted that Trey will play this week after being benched for God knows whatever reason in week 1. And I do expect him, if not in this game, at least very soon, to get the start and be the dominant running back in that system. Now, we know this is Kyle Shanahan's system, and you can never count on a 49ers running back being a number 1 through the entire season. It'll probably flip-flop from game to game, as it usually does. So don't put too much hope in it, but if you can get Trey off the waiver wire, or whatever, hold on to him. You might need him in a pinch. Evan Ingram will be out for the game on Thursday night. It should be tonight if you're listening to this on Thursday, but it doesn't matter. If you were playing him, you wouldn't notice the difference. Odell Beckham will be out again for week 2. So if you have Jarvis Landry, load him up this week for show. I expect this to be a decently high-scoring game, or at least a pass-heavy game, if nothing else, and Jarvis Landry should be in line to get the majority of that work. Put him in there, man. Jim Harbaugh seems to be suggesting that all of the Ravens running backs that are still left walking will be playing this week. So, let's run through them. J.K. Dobbins, out for the season. Gus Edwards, out for the season. Justice Hill, out for the season. Tyson Williams, practice squad, acting as RB1 at the moment. Latavius Murray just got into this offense, acting as just some dude on the field. Le'Veon Bell just got promoted off the practice squad. Patrick Ricard, hanging around there somewhere. Do you want to know who RB1 is for the Ravens right now? Lamar Jackson. That's RB1. He's going to get the bulk of the carries. And there is no way in hell I'm playing one of these other running backs right now. I am not wasting my fab on one of these guys that could be somewhat useful for 1 week and then I have to drop. I may take a shot in the dark at one of these guys who may be number 1 in a super deep league. I wouldn't even waste a dynasty spot on one of these guys. Zach Ertz is still dealing with that hamstring issue, which he kind of went out with for a little while in week 1. But I wouldn't play him anyway. If you really need a tight end from this team, it's going to be Dallas Goedert. It's a shame because Zach Ertz used to be number 2 to number 3 tight end in the entire league. Now he's barely making number 2 for the Eagles. This guy got 2 targets, 2 receptions for 34 yards and tweaked his hammy. I don't expect a lot out of Zach Ertz this year. I expect it to be Dallas Goedert for the rest of the season, and I hate to see it because it seems that Zach Ertz has fallen off or fallen out of favor with the team, one of the two. The guy's not that old, but happens to the best of us. Speaking of the Eagles, Miles Sanders. back to fantasy brilliance, fantasy dominance, fantasy usability. 15 carries for 74 yards. Not bad. Let's get him some touchdowns and Miles Sanders will be back to a number 1 RB in no time. That really wasn't news, but I had to throw that in there because people are disappointed if I don't. Now, that is all for the news. Let's get to the game theory portion of the show, which is, guys, do not overreact to week 1. Now, I kind of spilled the tea at the beginning and let the cat out of the bag and all of that and gave out my content a little early. But the fact is, I have seen people do this. Aaron Rodgers had a horrible week 1, put up the lowest fantasy points he has ever put up in his career, and I've seen people drop him already. Now, this is okay if you're in a 10-team league or an 8-team league and you have other options. If you're in a 12-team league, 14, 16-team league, you don't want to do this. If you are in a quarterback premium league, you do not want to do this. Guys, Aaron Rodgers is going to have great games this season. He's going to do it. He never not does it. Even in his worst season, which I believe was 2019, if I think about it, he still had great fantasy games peppered throughout the season, and the guy really wasn't even trying at all. We see what he can do when he tries. Needless to say, I don't expect him to be doing this all season. Do not drop Aaron Rodgers. Now, that brings me to another point. You must go check your waiver wire. Do it right now. Go check your waiver wire. Go check the transactions for your league, because I guarantee you, you have some teammates, unless you're in some expert league, you have some teammates who have overreacted to week 1, and you need to go through there and see what they dropped. If they drop superstars, if God forbid if they drop a Devontae Adams or Ezekiel Elliott or Aaron Rodgers, you have to be there to scoop them up. Waivers have ran by now. We're going into week 2. You need to see if some of those assets are available for your team. And if you haven't done it by now, hopefully your teammates haven't caught on and pick them up before you. But you have to remember that every week people are going to overreact, and you need to be there to sweep up the loose pieces that they are throwing out. Now, I'm just hoping none of my teammates in any of my leagues are actually listening to this broadcast. Did I really just say broadcast? What is this, the 1930s? Step right up right here. Everybody gets in for one thin dime. Only 2 nickels. If you have them to rub together, you can hand them right over and come see them. Never mind, not gonna say that. Guys, what I'm trying to say is you have to be vigilant of what your teammates are doing because of overreactions. Keep your superstars. Play them this week. Even if they were horrible in week 1, they should rebound. That's why they are superstars. Now, that's all I got for this week. You guys should know this, but if you don't, I'm here to hold your hand through the season. That's it for this week. Please subscribe to the Beyond Football channel. I am Smokey Rameriz, your fantasy football pro. I'll see you next week. Deuces.